talk about books, not butts. Hello, today I am with Alice and I was thinking about what we have in common, and I realised that I study English literature, whereas you study literature.
All the literature.
So today we're going to get really nerdy about books. I have a list of questions. The first book you read, or the first book that like had an impact on you?
The first book I remember really enjoying was a pictures book, and my dad read it to me, and he would read it to me every night, and it's called The Hat Hunt. Different characters, and it did all the different voices, and we kept reading this book that's for 6-year-olds, 5-year-olds, until I was 12.
The first books that had an impact on me were probably Narnia, because my mum read that to me when I was quite young. And it was just I loved them. And the other one is Anne of Green Gables. That book is where my obsession with auburn hair came from. I spent so many years of my life trying to dye my hair auburn, and I think it all stemmed from the fact that I loved Anne of Green Gables. A book you loved studying.
Oryx and Crake by Margaret Atwood. It's basically a dystopian future thing where humanity's died and there's a new race. The reason that I really like it to study it is because I wrote my thesis about it, and I compared it with 1984. The question was, is it dystopian? Is it or not? I decided it was, but not really. That's what every conclusion to every essay you'll ever write in English is.
But no.
It is, but no.
A book you hated studying?
Madame Bovary.
Oh, I've heard about it.
Fucking hate that book. It's the only book that I've ever studied that I didn't finish reading because it was so boring. I'm sorry, I know it's a classic, but
that's me with everything. I don't care if everyone respects it, it's shit.
What have you hated studying?
The Prelude by Wordsworth.
Haven't read it.
Oh!
Feel like I shouldn't.
It has good moments, but the Prelude is just too long. It's literally just whining and going, oh my god, life is so hard. It's you're literally a middle class white man.
It's not worth
upper
the
class
words.
man. He's upper. A book you either grew to hate or grew to love through studying.
The author is called Paul Lagerkvist, and it's called The Dwarf. And it's basically a Machiavellian dwarf who is just an absolute horrible character. Then he gets put in the dungeon in the end, and you don't really feel sorry for him because you hate him so much, but then you're how can I not feel sorry for someone who's been treated this badly? So it's as you study it, it grows on you. I didn't really enjoy it when I read it, but then as you study it and as you talk about it more, it gains a lot.
A book I grew to love through studying was Mrs. Dalloway. I was so confused at the beginning, and I just thought the style was unnecessarily complicated, and I just didn't understand, and I found it very, very difficult. But then as we talked about it and I grew to understand how the book and how all the characters and the thoughts interlinked, basically how you're supposed to read it, because I was reading it like you'd normally read it, and I thought it was one narrator, one person, but it's not, it's going in between everyone. And I was like, oh wait, that's really, really clever, and it's like real life, and oh my god, and I love it. A book that changed your life.
See,
it's tricky.
I don't have an answer to that. I would say Harry Potter, in the way that I love it so much, and that it's changed my life in the sense that it has made my life a bit richer, because that whole world is really dear to me.
Especially for anyone of our generation.
Yeah.
It's everyone knows what Hogwarts is.
That's what I mean.
The book that changed my life, I would say, was Scalagrig by William Horwood. It's not very well known, but it's got a little cult following if you look into it. My mum gave it to me going, this book changed my life and you need to read this. It's about this myth of the Scalagrig, and it's this person that is there to save all disabled people. I'm really simplifying it because it's a very complicated plot, but it's just the way it talks about people with disabilities, and it just changes. Okay. Because you know how you sort of think, oh, how could anyone with certain disorders, how could they possibly live a good life? Yeah. And it really changes your life in terms of it really made me perceive people.
So it changes the way you view certain things.
Yes. It's miserable, but it's amazing. A book you wish you had written?
Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy.
Mate, yes. I didn't think of that.
If I could have written that, it's the most deliciously crazy book.
I could talk about Hitchhiker's Guide forever. It's my favourite book.
The imagination put into it, all the different characters, the way, and even the style of it, where everything just kind of comes in at different random times,
so
and then there's just these
and it's
hilarious
on the nose.
Yeah, the way it just completely disregards space and time and everything.
A book that I wish I'd written is The Vagina Monologues. Technically she didn't write it herself, well she sort of did, she kind of collected other people's views, but just the amount of impact that the Vagina Monologues had across the world. Camera died. I was talking about the vagina monologues. Vaginas, they're good. Great, cool. Favourite book for plot? My favourite book for plot, I've got two. One is Harry Potter, because it's a fantastic story.
Epic story.
Northern Lights by Philip Pullman, because they're incredible books. The plot is amazing. Magical and creative and...
The thing is, I find it, like, if there's not a good story, it's not a good book.
I see what you mean, but then that's what I would say about Mrs. Dalloway. Like, it hasn't really got much plot, but the style is wonderful, and that's why I then asked, what's your favourite book for style?
Yeah.
And I said, Portrait of the Young... Right, I always get this wrong. Portrait of a James Joyce. I always get confused with that title. That hasn't, like, got a huge plot. It's just kind of a guy wandering through his life. But the style...
But that must have, like, an
is
internal
amazing.
plot, though.
Yeah, but it's not like a traditional
No,
kind of...
because Joyce is
beginning, start,
stream of
end.
consciousness, isn't he?
Yeah.
So...
I mean, Joyce is... So that's what I mean, like, that's a very good book and I loved it, but...
I don't like stream of consciousness.
You won't like Mrs. Dalloway then?
For style, I like, well, actually a John Green book called Abundance of Catherines is another example of it, but just in general, where you jump in time a lot. When it starts in medias res, like when it starts in the middle of everything and you just like get thrown in and then you have to be like the detective that figures out in what order things actually happen.
Okay, your go-to recommendation. The irony is that one of my books are this was Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy.
Hey!
So yeah, like I think we're quite big fans.
I think we've sold that.
Brave New World by Aldous Huxley.
Ooh, yeah.
I couldn't choose one. I just can't choose one. The Yellow Wallpaper by Charlotte Perkins Gilman.
I just studied that.
I love that story so much. I became like the woman. I read it once because of it was context for Mrs. Dalloway, and I just fell in love. And I remember I finished it and I was like, wait, I need to read that again.
It's so good.
And I read it 7 times in a row.
The one that I couldn't think of before, it's called Wide Sagrasso Seas. It is the prequel to Jane Eyre. Although it's not, because it's written by someone else. And it's telling you the story about the wife, the mad woman in the attic.
Oh,
and it's so good. Like, I like Wuthering Heights a lot.
Oh no, you don't, do you?
Did you? Did you read it?
I have read it, and I literally, it felt like crawling over nails. The characters
are horrible people.
I'm disgusted.
Yes, I love that. You hate every single character in it.
I hate that. I have to have someone. No. Even if it's just the dog. No. Worst book you've ever read?
Worst?
Yes, worst book you've ever read.
I feel like we've touched on it. I thought of one that I absolutely hated.
Right.
I read a course where it was called like popular fiction, which was very interesting, but one of the books we had to read was Confessions of a Shopaholic.
Ooh.
Your face. It's so bad! Like, I'm sorry if you like it. I liked Bridget Jones, which we had to read.
Haven't read it.
That's actually, I'd even recommend it. Shopaholic, it's like, it's offensive to everyone.
Wow.
The women are like that are portrayed and this like main character and like her stupidity. She has like she's so like she's but the only end goal is to have clothes.
That's a bit shit.
It's awful.
I have one final question.
No.
In my opinion, it's the most important question. Are you a spine breaker? Do you break the spine?
No.
Okay, good.
I'm like, do people do that?
Yeah, there are people who literally, they get a book and then like their way of christening the book is to go and it just...
What, so that it snaps on, so it falls on the back?
Yeah.
No!
Yes!
No!
This is what my mum does! And I have to, literally, my mum has borrowed my books and done that to my books. I'm so glad you're with me on this one. Possibly like a clinical level problem, but the book was in such good condition. She was like, you could put that back into Waterstones. I don't believe that you have read the book.
Sacred!
That is, every book to me is sacred. Right, that's everything then.
Hey!
That has been a very long time. 45 minutes?
Yeah.
Talking about books, because we're nerds. I hope that was enjoyable to you. It's not going to be enjoyable for me to edit. So this is Alice, by the way, again.
Hello.
Just subscribe, please.
Yeah.
She's actually amazing.
Because I've got like 25 subscribers.
Which is so unfair. You're really good. And you deserve so many more subscribers. It really hurts me. So please go subscribe.
And Vida.
And Vida. But oh wait, stop.
Okay.
We have a video on her channel.
Yes!
Which we're about to film.
Yes!
So that'll be
and we don't know, it might be a train wreck.
Go check out her channel, subscribe, and see to you tomorrow on my channel. That was really coherent. Bye!
Bye!